Good afternoon, everybody in ACT Prep. I'm going to try to pick up some pieces where we left off before. This right here is a 2015-2016 practice test. If you wanted to practice more tests, you can look up other tests on the internet. They're free usually. ACT has some on their website as well. You can go to maybe act.org right now, but here's actstudent.org, and you can go through the progression of a test. So what you guys took was the math test, which is the second part of the ACT. You start with the reading section, you can see there, then you have the math, and then you have the grammar, and then you have the science. So you guys took the math section and you only took the first 30 of the questions. If you wanted to get the other 30 questions, let me know. I can get those for you. But I had you all grade your test, and at the end of grading your test, you can find a score. At the end of this test, you can find a scoring sheet. Okay, so let me get to that right here. So scoring your test, there's ways to do that. And you may have not seen the full score sheet when you were going through this, but you use this answer key right here to score everything. And we worked through the first 30, which is on the left section right here for the math. Now, if you see these little underscores in each of the areas, you can break down which question type each one of these is. So EA is going to go down here with pre-algebra or elementary algebra, and you can figure out what your score was in that area. And same thing with this one. This is your intermediate algebra and coordinate geometry. I think these are a little bit different compared to this now, but general idea still applies here. So this is plane geometry and trig. So what you can do is you can figure out how many you got correct in each sub area, I suppose, and then say you had 10 out of 19 in the intermediate algebra and coordinate geometry area, and you were good here and good here. So that is a target area where you should practice questions that look like that. So let's say we want to practice another ACT in this area because that was our trouble area. So what you should do if you pick up a different test or you look for a different test on the internet, I would go straight to the answer key and then look for the area of the subscore that you had issues with. So if I had areas or issues in intermediate algebra and coordinate geometry, I would go back to my test and I would look for each of these different areas where I might be able to try these questions. So that would be the most affordable way to practice these questions. The other way you could do this is you buy the ACT.org subscription and you do practice tests online, and they'll give you a breakdown of your subject areas that you need help with kind of right away. It's a little bit quicker, but this would be the more cost-efficient way to do it. Okay. So let's say we're done with our scoring and we're done with the test and we want to figure out what we got. Okay. So all the way at the end of the test, you see something like this. All right, and you guys had your bubble sheets and stuff like that. Those are all the way at the end. You can always get a printable bubble sheet if you want to, and this is just kind of telling you how to fill out ACT paperwork when you get an ACT. So let's say I want to figure out about where my composite score is, and we were in the math section, so we are right here in this column. So what I have students do is I take what score they got on the first 30 and I double it. Now this is kind of a loose estimate because the second half of the test is a little bit harder because you're going to get into those harder trig and algebra 2 concepts, but that's kind of a loose way to get people to get their composite or this raw score for that area. So let's say I got a 25 on that section of the math, so I double that and I would be in the 50s. So right here I'd be at a 50, which lines up with a 30. That's my scale score for a 25. If you wanted to have a little bit tighter estimate, maybe double it, or maybe take it times a third. So if I got 20, okay, then I would put another 8 on there or so, another 7 on there. So I have a 27 if I got 20 out of there, right? So that put me at a 19, okay? So if let's say I got 25, it might be a little bit more than a third, but that would be where I would kind of shoot for. Maybe like a 0.8 or take it times a 0.7 and then add that on there, okay? But just a loose estimate, take your score, double it, and that'll put you where your raw score is, okay? So just to give you a general idea, that's how you score your test. When we do the science one, we'll do the same thing. We'll take all 35 of the science questions, or all 40 of the science questions, and then we'll use this to figure out what our raw score is going to be. So that is how you grade your ACT score. So you want to record that, write it on top, and then you want to turn that in today, and I will collect that. All right? So the next order of business for you guys today, you are going to be working through an Algebra 1 practice section. Okay? So these are going to have potentially all the Algebra 1 skills that we can practice on this test. All right? And we're going to work through the first 20 questions. So we're going to be working through here. So you're going to get all the way to 20. Okay? So when you get to 20, you can put that away, and we will go through the questions on Tuesday. We'll go through a little bit on Tuesday, and I will give you the answers for that. If you are missing class on Tuesday, then I'll send things to you in an email. That way you can check your answers in an email. All right? So if you get those done, what I do want you to do while you're working through these is mark the questions that you are unsure of. Okay, so like if I'm looking at 18 odd and even functions, I have no idea what those things are. I'm going to mark that. I'm going to guess an answer, see what I get for an answer, and then we'll go through those when I come back. Okay, so hopefully I don't have every single question marked, but we can try to get through as many as we possibly can on Tuesday to kind of go through things for you. Okay, but if you have any other questions, you can reach me through email. That's jordan.henricks@sewardschools.org. Thanks, and we'll talk to you later.